stream. It was the first time I had ever watched anything like that. After watching the hour, I had some questions. Now, I didn't necessarily slam the guy or say anything too wild or inflammatory at all. In fact, I agreed with most of his opinions on Street Fighter 6 that he said in the video, but I had some very factual questions that I was interested in having answers to. For example, why does he quit to dashboard in the middle of fighting the game if he's getting hit by a super? I don't understand that because it doesn't do anything. It's like he's not rage quitting. It doesn't affect the match. I don't get it. Why does he block every player? Even if he beats them, he blocks players and blacklists them. I don't understand that. Why is his stream layout so cluttered? I don't like it. I think it's ugly. Why does he find benefit in having a stream chat that literally just sits there and makes fun of him when he's playing the game, but he doesn't seem to realize it? Okay? Why does he have over 2,000 viewers every time he plays this game on Twitch, supposedly, but no one was contributing during his live streams? At least for the hour I saw, there was like no contributions. So like, what's the point of having 2,000 viewers if everyone is there supposedly just to make fun of you? That's kind of a sad situation. So these were not me trying to slam the guy. Understand, this was like fact hunting, all right? I was just curious about answers, legit answers to the questions, right? I wasn't trying to insult him at all. I was just kind of fascinated by what I observed, and I just was looking for some answers, so I talked about it on my podcast 2 days ago, okay? And fair enough, even my haters who like clip shit out of my podcast or whatever didn't really negatively spin it in a way that was unfair. They kind of said, here's what Phil said. It's kind of, tame. Curious what'll happen, right? But what's funny about it is, it seems like everyone kind of knew how LTG was going to react, despite the fact that I didn't insult him. I said nothing negative about the guy. They apparently knew how he is, okay? So, a night and a half ago, on his late night stream, LTG starts exploding and insulting me like a crazy assault of insults about my personal appearance, okay, my voice, how it sounds, the quality of my stream visually. He insulted my camera, he insulted my background, right? Then he very oddly, in a very weird way, brought up the fact that I turned down a podcast for Keemstar for $50,000. He mentions it like 6 times in his unhinged 10-minute rant about me. And it's so bizarre because it has absolutely nothing to do with the topic at hand, but he keeps mentioning it, okay? He says things that I need to work on my sexy. Yes, he actually says another man should work on his sexy on his stream. This is what he's saying. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He literally said that, okay? If you want to see the whole thing, check it out. I literally did a live react to it yesterday on this very show. That was the majority of the podcast yesterday, okay? So after live reacting to it, I was pretty confused. I was like, so let me get this straight. He never watched my podcast. He doesn't even know what I said about his stream. He literally took it upon himself that just because he heard DSP said something about LTG, that he would go on a 10-minute insult-laden rant against me for no fucking good reason at all, and think that that was okay. That I was going to be happy about that. That I was just going to accept it, and I was just supposed to lay back and take it because he can do whatever he wants, right? So after reacting to that yesterday and telling a lot of very telling things, I think, about him, I think he needs to see a psychiatrist, quite frankly, with some of the stuff he was saying there. Basically, I laid it down. I said, listen, I don't know what he thinks because he says there's some narrative. Someone's pushing a narrative, supposedly. I don't know what this narrative is, all right? For some reason, he thinks I'm clout chasing him. I'm not clout chasing the man. I literally watched an hour video about his content. I had just questions about it that were very tame questions. I don't know where the clout chasing was there. I had already established the fact that this guy was probably never going to want to do any kind of matches or anything against me. This is all established. So where he seems like he has this weird, like, complex in his head about me that he can't get over. And so you're pushing a narrative. What narrative? There's no narrative at all. You made up the narrative in your fucking head, or other people are bullshitting you, telling you there's a narrative when there's no narrative. I don't even know what because again, he never actually explains it. He just keeps saying that over and over, right? It's very confusing. Okay? So, anyway, after having reacted to all that yesterday, I laid down the law. I said, it's this simple. You're going to fucking talk about me for 10, 15 minutes. You're going to insult me constantly. All stuff that literally has nothing to do with anything I said about you. That's fucked up. So, the only content that we could ever do together that would be beneficial would be to do a grudge match of Street Fighter 6. And I think that we should do it, because I think that it's going to be something that our fans want to see, our viewers want to see. I say fans and viewers because they're kind of different. Sometimes you have a fan base, but you also have a hater base, right? Like, I think our haters would equally like to see us face off at Street Fighter 6 as much as our fans. And it would be hype, and everyone would want to see it, right? I even proposed, let's make this big business. Let's get this so hype. Let's do it during EVO. While EVO is going on and they're doing their qualifying rounds of bullshit, instead of watching the paint dry, people could jump over to our streams and watch us fight. And people would be hyped. I said, how much you want to bet if we did this during EVO? People at fucking EVO would say, fuck EVO. I'm going to watch this shit on my phone right now. Everyone's going to be sitting there watching it on their phones because they want to see it because it's so hype, right? So I made this proposition. Let's do it. And, the thing is, during his 10-minute unhinged rant, he basically said, well, the only way I would ever do anything with Darkside Phil is if I got paid $5,000. So I even said this. Get that from your viewers because you have supportive viewers. Are you not aware of that? I mean, the guy has 3,000 paid subs on Twitch. He's making bank every month on Twitch just by streaming. So if that's the case, I'm pretty sure your viewers would love to see you do a grudge match and they would support it. If they like you so much, why wouldn't they support you? So let them support you. Let them give you $5,000 to do this grudge match. And let's fucking trump EVO. Seriously, let's just trump that shit. Let's actually get more attendance and more interest on our stream than the EVO stream. All right? So that's where we left it yesterday. And I even said, I'm done talking about it now. Unless there's more developments, I'm not going to be talking about this topic again because there's no point. If he just ignores it and I ignore it, then it's dead. But, unless there's developments. If there's developments, I'll talk about them again. Well, there's developments, okay? There's actually 2 developments that have happened, okay? So let's talk about those developments this morning. Development number 1. I was contacted by someone, and I am fascinated by the information that was presented to me. Now, keep in mind, this is just information that was presented to me. I really don't have any way to vet or confirm this information, all right? But I received an email from someone, and I'm going to read it word for word. I'm not even going to spin it in a way. I'm literally going to read the email word for word for you guys. You ready? Why LTG is bitter about the 50K. Wings was once asked if LTG should replace you on the podcast. Wings stated that he suggested being a good replacement, but Keemstar rejected it, saying LTG wouldn't work. Word for word from the email that I received. So for background of this, because if you're wondering, what is this podcast? Why the hell is LTG talking about a $50,000 podcast? So apparently last year, Keemstar wanted to do a podcast with me, Boogie, and Wings of Redemption. He was going to call it the LOLCOW cast, all right? He was going to pay us each $50,000 to do it, and then we were going to own a portion of the podcast, so if it became profitable, we were going to make money ongoing from this. However, Keemstar failed to be professional, failed to contact me in any kind of a human way because he's a fucking idiot. He thinks that everything revolves around him. So my whole life schedule and my business and everything should be dropped just to talk to this man who I really want no association with whatsoever. I think he's a fucking clown. He's a degenerate. I hate the content he puts out. I would never want to be associated with him. So basically it never happened, okay? So then what happened was Keemstar wouldn't let it go. He kept talking about it publicly. He lied. Earlier this year, he lied, saying that I still have a chance to be on the show. I was like, dude, I don't want to be on your fucking show. I've said it a million times. Doesn't matter how many times you say it. Then he lied and said things like he was going to get someone else to do it. Guess what? Guess what, guys? It's July 2023. There's still no podcast, okay? So if anything, what this shows is that he had an idea. Without me, the idea won't work. And so it's never going to happen. Okay, if it does happen, great. More power to them. I told them, do the pod. Why is it months and months later and the podcast still didn't happen? Because they needed me for it. All right, they know that. They know I was the thing that was hinging the whole fucking thing and gluing it together. And without me, they have no show. So anyway, what ended up happening was for a short period of time, Keemstar was talking online saying, "Who do you guys think should be the replacement for DSP on the podcast?" And a lot of names came up, like Review Tech USA and stuff. And I guess LTG was one. And from what I'm being told here, Wings was basically sold that LTG would work, and he talked to Keemstar, and Keemstar said, no, LTG would not work for this show, all right? So why is LTG angry about the 50K? Because he didn't get it. He didn't get offered it, right? So he's mad. He's mad salty because he wanted that bag. He wanted that payday. And he's not offered the payday because no one wants him on the podcast. You know? Again, if you're looking at value added and whatever, people are looking at it and saying that wouldn't add the value to the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. Is there an association between me and LTG? Well, we're both fighting game players. I'm a washed up one, right? He's kind of like, he was at one point kind of competitive. He's not anymore, right? But now he's prominent online. I used to be in the tournament scene. I'm not anymore. I'm washed up. But at least we have association. You understand? Like, we do. We have the fighting game thing as our association, right? What relation does LTG have to Wings of Redemption or Boogie? Zero. Like, literally zero. He wouldn't be able to relate. That show wouldn't work. I agree. If you ask my opinion, it wouldn't work on that show. It would be like worlds colliding and making no sense. It's like, you know, trying to mix I don't know, you know, peanut butter with olive oil or something. You know, it's like, yuck. It's going to be a messy, it's not going to mix. It's going to be disgusting, right? You don't want that. So, you know, I get it. But I think he's pissed. I think he's actually pissed off because he wanted that money. So he's holding it against me that I didn't take the money, but then he couldn't take the spot that I didn't take, right? He's mad about that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you projecting that onto me? Be mad at yourself that no one wants you on the show. Not me. I'm not the reason you're not on the show. How about this? Wings, Boogie, Keemstar, put LTG on the podcast. Make the podcast together. Give the man $50,000 and allow him to be on the show. Do it. There. I want it. Give you the blessing. Take the money. But don't fucking project it on me. I have nothing to do with that. Why are you mad at me? Why are you salty at me because I turned it down because I want nothing to do with Keemstar? Like, what are you, out of your mind? That's fucking stupid. You call me dumb. No, I'm not dumb because I don't want to be roped into something for the rest of my fucking life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be roped into something forever. I don't. So, you know, forget that shit. I have the ability to pass up on an offer. So do you, right? You're apparently passing up on any offers about doing stuff with me. So I have the ability to pass up on an offer for Keemstar. There's no criticism there. You have no right to criticize me for saying that I don't want to do something I didn't want to do. And you have no right to project that on me because you're salty because you want the money. Okay? Now, in addition to that, there's another big follow-up, ladies and gentlemen. All right? And this is really